You said that your father's co-workers at some point created a show with their wives.
Yeah.
And what about your father and your mother?
Well, they did start. You know, you've seen the photographs. They started an act. Well, it's a strange thing. They started an act. It's known as a Rizzler Act, where it was Mum, Dad, and Gang. It was a young South African balancer and acrobat, and Dad would be supporting the whole sort of array on purpose-built equipment, and Gang and my mother would be stood on top, and Gang would be balancing on. It's a Rizzler Act is where you have a roller. It's a roller with a board on top, and you you actually balance on it, and they did all sorts of things, but it never really sort of worked out, and in truth, it never got much beyond the rehearsal stage, and in later years, Dad always said to me that the one thing that was always at the back of his mind, and wasn't on the other guys' minds when they started their acts, was that he was coming from an act that was the creme de la creme, if you like, and getting involved in a lesser act that no way compared. And for the other guys, it didn't seem to be important. For him, it's just more than he could bear to be sort of at the top and to be starting again. So it never really took off, and and Dad never really went back into the business again.
What was your point of view?
Mental, by the way. Yeah. Go on.
What was your point of view? How did you see your parents, your father, their work? Did you feel they were doing something special, or did you have any idea about what they were doing?
In truth, I suppose if pressed, I would say it was a case of, that can't be right. It was a case of I guess it made me aware. I think Dad had regrets, put it this way, all his life that maybe, he came out of the business, and the business that he loved, and never went back in. In later years, he went into running gyms in the city, sort of quite a large organisation, Mike Corby organisation actually, and he was a very important guy, and in fact he helped Mike sort of more or less start the whole thing. But I don't want to give the impression that it was a life of sort of total frustrations, and that's not true, but it rather sort of made me aware that if things in life happen, and it's not always maybe what you might plan or would have hoped for, having regrets is a bit pointless, because you can't.
And do you think their work was very visual?
Yeah.
And
what like this is, yeah.